Now we will be talking about chapter 15 of Sai Tapovanam. Let's begin. I'm aware of the past, the present, and future of everyone. You may think it is marvelous phenomenon that the supreme being should come down to earth in human form, but if you are in my position, you will not be so wonderstruck. I am fully aware of the past, the present, and future of every one of you. That is why I do not get overwhelmed with pity. Now that I do not have compassion and love, my heart is certainly not made of stone. But if you shut the door of your heart, how can the waves of my sweet love penetrate beyond? You shed tears. Say, Swami, I am blind. I yearn to see your divine form. Doesn't my distress melt your heart? When you see a blind person's misery, your hearts are moved. Does not my heart too feel pity? But as I know the entire background, including the distressed person's earlier lives, my response is naturally different. If you too come to know of things that are known to me, your reaction to that person's agony will also be different. What one reaps in this life is the fruits of the seed that he himself had sowed into previous lives. So I allow him to undergo what he derived from his earlier evil deeds. Of course, performance of extenuatingly good deeds will mitigate the suffering to some extent. I am not the cause of either your happiness or misery. You have yourself fashioned these two manacles that weigh you down. Baba. Evil begets evil. Once a husband and wife, accompanied by their own children, came to Prashanti Nilayam. Parents as well as the children were very handsome, and the whole family made a picture of beauty. They eagerly desired to meet Bhagwan personally. They say Colonel Jogarao in that connection and requested him to somehow make it possible. Impressed by the good looks of the couple, Colonel Jogarao felt that it would be very nice if Baba could give them an interview. So he interceded with Baba on their behalf, mentioning also that everyone in the family were very handsome. Swami said, "You are speaking so highly about the beauty of their parents and children. That is all right. But do you know that both the little ones are blind?" Colonel Jogarao was taken aback. Swami had not seen the family yet. Jogarao himself did not notice and could not imagine that the two lovely children were sightless. When he met those people again, he inquired about their child's lack of sight. He was distressed when he was told the ugly truth. The lady once again entreated Colonel Jogarao to plead on their behalf with Swami to bless her child with sight. Moved by their pleasant manner, Jogarao raised the matter once again with Swami. He got no reply. The next day, Swami came out of his place with the day's newspaper in his hand. He gave to Colonel Jogarao and asked him to read the particular item. The item refers to a news story. In Bukkapatnam, two children's eyes were blinded by their stepmother. After reading the shocking news, Colonel Jogarao stared at Swami. "What would you do if you were to deal with this incident?" asked Swami. Colonel Jogarao answered instantly, "I will turn the heartless mother blind." Then Swami softly told him, "But God does not do so. On the other hand, He makes our children blind. As for these two little ones, leave them to me. They will certainly be happy. But what about their mother?" Baba moved away from the place, leaving Colonel Jogarao stunned. This brief conversation was all that happened, but Colonel Jogarao realized the puzzle of a universal mystery had been unravelled in a flash. What had he asked of Swami in favor of the couple? What did Swami mean by drawing his notice to this day's news item? And what is the profound significance of Swami's conversation with him? Evidently, Swami did not wish to reveal anything directly to the unfortunate mother and add to her mental anguish. It all added up to this. Every person would have to suffer retribution for past sins. God is like a postman who takes out his bag, letter after letter, and hands each one at the appropriate address. Members in one house read their letter and burst in joy. Another household suffers misery with what it received. As for the postman, he is least concerned with the contents of the letter he delivers. His role is merely to transmit each letter to the correct addressee. God too does the same. Picking up the food thrown away then. Accompanied by Swami Karunyananda, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba once went to Dharma Kshetra in Mumbai. He stayed in the apartment in the upper floor where Karunananda was given a room situated on the ground floor right beneath Baba's room. Some prominent persons of Mumbai were coming to meet Bhagwan. The staircase they used for adjoining the ground floor room, and to avoid being disturbed, Karunananda bolted the door from inside. As he looked out, he saw a very disturbing scene. Just outside the compound wall, some children were vying with stray dogs to grab crumbs of food from discarded leaf plates. The scenes filled with surprise as well as distress. This is the age when God Himself has incarnated on earth and is moving in flesh and blood. What's more, on that very day, He was present right in that very building. It is not ironical that human beings were to fight with street dogs for snatching a few discarded crumbs of food. Just as these thoughts passed through his mind, there was a gentle touch on his shoulder. He turned around and found Sri Sathya Sai Baba smiling. Karunananda was flustered and said, "Baba, I bolted the door from inside. How could you enter the door?" Baba countered, "If I want to come home, come in. Sorry, can balls stand in my way? I have come to take you for meals." Then Karunananda told Baba about what was agitating in his mind. "Swami, I am troubled. You are God incarnate and right now present here bodily. And just look here behind the wall. Children are fighting with street dogs for picking up mean crumbs of bread from the garbage. How come, Swami?" Bhagwan explained patiently. "They disdainfully ate from tables heavily laden with every kind of rich food, pecking a little from this and a little from that. They threw away much more than they ate, contemptuously disregarded precious food. In this world, they're picking up what they had earlier so recklessly wasted and consigned to the garbage heap." Subsequently, on the occasion of World Conference of Sathya Sai organization that took place in Prashanti Nilayam, Swami Karunyananda addressed the audience. Swami was present in the dais. In his speech, Karunyananda referred to the above incident, causing considerable surprise all around. In his discourse, Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba clarified, "Two birds are sitting on a branch of tree. One is eating the tree's fruit, other is just watching like a mere witness." This incident was mentioned in one of the Upanishads. The inner meaning is the tree is the body. The fruits are worldly happiness and sorrow. The fruit eater is the soul. The witness is the Paramatma. The birds are no doubt appearing as two distinct entities, but actually they are the same. The spiritual essence of man is the supreme principle's reflection or shadow vision. In Baba's own words, Paramatra Abhasa Rupam Jivatma. Even so, experiencing happiness and sorrow is the lot of Jivatma. They do not touch Paramatma. Paramatma is only the witness. These words of Bhagwan Baba elaborate the inner meaning of the Upanishadic parade of two birds on a tree. Ocean of mercy. Despite all that has been stated earlier about past deeds engendering either retribution or reward in the present life, it is a fact that if Bhagwan wills to shower mercy, his kindness shows no limit. It is so spontaneous that it is pointless to search to its cause. In this context, it is relevant to refer to what Swami recounted on 4th July 1996. It was a heart-warming tale and moved every single person in the gathering. The boy who spoke here first hails from Shimla in Himachal Pradesh. His younger brother also is studying in the primary school here, Swami said. About 10 years ago, when I was in Vrindavan, their mother was brought to me on a stretcher all the way from Himachal Pradesh. I put my arms around the boys and drew them close. I told their mother, "These are my children. From now on, you need not worry about them at all." She too gave her word to Swami. "Sai Mata, I am entrusting my sons to you." And she breathed her last. I brought the boys here and enrolled them in the primary school. From that day right up to this day, they never shed a tear. Their mother passed away. Their father comes but rarely. Everybody left them to Swami's care. After all, Swami himself is looking after them. That is exactly what Sharanagati means. I see these boys morning every day and inquire about their welfare. They never experience the misery of losing their mother. One day, the lady warden of the hostel brought the younger brother to me, saying he was grieving for his mother, weeping for her, and refusing to eat. He was then 5 years old and was in the first standard. I took him to the interview room, put a ring on his finger, did this and that to amuse him until he forgot his grief and became cheerful. Ever since, he is always seen smiling and laughing. Children's hearts are pure like crystal. This shows how much courage and strength love can bestow on the loved ones. Could these boys have been so content and cheerful anywhere else? They're so full of happiness and joy because they are with Swami. Swami's love is not one mother's love, but 1,000 mothers' love. I personally look after every detail. Unable to understand this, you worry. Swami not looked at me or talked to me. Despite innumerable responsibilities that I shoulder, I find time to look after and inquire about every single child. The boy who has spoken a little earlier said, I lost only a single mother, but I have gained the motherly love of 1,000 mothers. That is why, when commencing his talk, he addressed Swami, my mother's eye. It is an ardent faith that protects them and blesses them with complete success in their lives. Namasmaran and Rupadhyan. For 8 long years, a foreign devotee at Prashantinilayam had been confined to a wheelchair, for he had lost use of his legs. Nevertheless, a pleasant smile was always lighting up his face. Prior to his affliction, he used to exercise and actively participate in sports and games, but fate forced him into dependence on the wheelchair. Once several visitors from his native land were sitting together in the audience hall. Swami invited all of them. Since this handicapped person was tied down to his wheelchair and was also at a different place, he could not move in along with the group who had rushed into the interview room. He too was from the same country. Should not Swami have called him as well? He was wondering and eagerly looking towards Swami. Meanwhile, Swami had already passed him by and went ahead a little further, but suddenly he turned back and called out to him, Oh, you also go inside. He was thrilled and began propelling his chair towards the room. The ever compassionate Bhagwan ordered, Not like that, get up and go walking. The poor man was shocked. He stopped nevertheless and tried painfully to get out of his chair. Laboriously he freed himself, stumbled a little, but soon pulled himself together. He broke down. Unable to control his pangs of weeping, he threw himself at the lotus feet of Bhagwan. 8 years of tapas and suffering was thus crowned with glorious fulfillment. Release from retribution. Swami once said, You may be thinking that one will have to suffer in this birth for the evil deeds done in the past life, and that no amount of God's compassion can exempt you from it. But I am giving you my word that you do not have to undergo the consequence of previous karma. Sarva papa kshaya karaya namaha. Hence, he is worshipped. True enough. Look at those who are suffering from disease and have gathered in Puttaparthi, sitting and waiting for Baba. They have totally surrendered at Swami's lotus feet. Having left all their cares in the hands of Swami, they do not seem to be suffering at all. If they were somewhere else, the intensity of the illness would have made them miserable. They would have been experiencing the agony of hell. Here, as they wait, looking forward to the supreme happiness of having Swami's darshan, they settle not. They are lost in anticipation. During darshan, they are transported to heavenly bliss. They forget themselves, lost to their plans and aches. After darshan, they relive this wonderful experience. Rumination adds to that pleasure and prolongs it. They meditate in the form of Swami, conversing with others, sharing of experiences, and recollecting the sweetness of Swami's words, deeds, and leelas. Their time literally flies. Then they began looking forward to the next darshan with hope, anticipation, expectation, and imagination. Devotees never know passage of hours in Prashantinilayam. When do they find time to experience retribution? They are shielded and insulated from suffering and sorrow, just as a patient under anesthesia is protected from pain. Period of suffering retribution passes off smoothly with Shravanam, hearing, remembering, Smaranam, contemplating, Mananam, meditating, Chintan, and viewing Darshan, and touching, Sparshan. In other words, in filling one's life and soul with Swami, his divinity and glory. Entry into Prashantinilayam, both physically and metamorphically, is nothing but pariharam, that is, remedy from relief and from sorrow of every kind. Om Shri Sai Parabrahmane Namaha. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. End of chapter 15.